Gemini season is coming, a season of intelligence, versatility, and being social, and you can find your free mini guide in the description box. But let's talk about how you can adapt to the winds of change this Gemini season. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Hannah and welcome back, Cosmic Warriors. Before we do dive into today's video, if you want to learn more about astrology, then head on over to the Cosmic Check-In podcast. And if you would like to book a reading with me, then go to hannahselsewhere.com. I hope you enjoy the video. Let's do this. Alright, so opening Gemini season 2025, the moon will be in the very cosmic, mystical sign of Pisces, as the sun in Gemini creates a trine to Pluto retrograde and then a sextile to Neptune in Aries. Right, this combination sets an imaginative, creative, changeable, and highly curious tone to the season ahead. We may feel excited about new projects and passions with a strong desire to make our dreams come true. Being open to new perspectives is likely. Great networking skills, seeking to bring our ideas to wider audiences and communities, as if we are to be a part of something bigger than ourselves. And for some of us, our bright ideas just might go the distance. At the same time, however, our ideas may be very much up in the air, with a lack of concrete follow through, keeping in mind that our emotions will feel very deep as well, right? It could be quite an emotional time too. Therefore, Gemini season this year is a major brainstorming time. It is a time of communicating and sharing how we feel, what we think. But then again, with Mercury, so Mercury will be in Taurus for a period of the season, well, for the first few days. Therefore, greater intention is suggested with an emphasis on covering all areas. We can think practically and slowly, trying not to rush into things. We can hopefully firmly make decisions based on results and beneficial outcomes, just trying our very best to be grounded. And by the 25th of May, as Mercury enters Gemini, home sign Gemini, get ready for extra chattiness and exciting connections. Listen closely, because Gemini acts as the messenger, okay, the bridge between worlds, the back and forth between your conscious and unconscious minds. Oh, Gemini is a master at grasping concepts and ideas quickly and concisely processing the information. Gemini can take huge chunks of information and deliver it swiftly. Remember, Hermes in mythology, Hermes was the messenger of the gods, all gods. So think about that for just a moment. That means Mercury in your chart can deliver information from one planet to the next. And to think about it through more of this Hermeticism lens, the all is mind. Well, this suggests that Mercury is key to greater self-awareness and spiritual evolution. For it is through the mind that we create our reality. And according to the 7 Hermetic principles, the universe is mental. So, Gemini, as an archetype, is so much more spiritual than is often given credit for. Further suggesting that Gemini season is a mirroring season, a season of wits, contradictions, seeing patterns, collecting data, formulating reports, research, stats, processing, reprogramming our very brain. If you are looking for an opportunity to rewire your subconscious mind, Gemini season is a great season to do it. Keep in mind, like I said at the beginning, the moon will be in Pisces opening this season, and Pisces is also very much about the subconscious mind. And of course, it is your thoughts that hold so much power regarding your life and your overall direction. So from the 25th of May until the 8th of June, pay close attention to the signals and the messages from your mind and which thoughts really come up when you are discussing things. Even just feel into whatever you're talking about. Do you feel excited when you share something, or do you feel pretty flat? And then, of course, by the 8th of June, for the rest of Gemini season, our mindset is in for a much more emotional and sensitive perspective as Mercury enters Cancer. Though, before we go any further into Cancer, on the 8th of June, Mercury and Jupiter will align in Gemini at 29 degrees. Right before Mercury makes the move into Cancer, and then Jupiter will enter Cancer the next day. So what's this all about around the 8th of June? What does this mean energetically for us? Well, this is where some healthy self-reflection comes in, because Jupiter has been in Gemini since May of 2024. What a time of challenge it has been for many of us due to Saturn being involved. Many could not get their ideas off the ground due to the restrictions of Saturn. Many felt mentally drained, deflated, perhaps a ton of people still do. But I think the square between Jupiter in Gemini and Saturn in Pisces was an essential part of our growth and maturity throughout 2024 and 2025. Emotionally and spiritually, we were tested to see how aligned we are with certain ideas, but not just on a logical level, basically, but on an intuitive level. We have learned that it is one thing to say something, but another to feel it, right? This is what I was trying to get at earlier, to really let it sink in and to see how it connects with us deep down. Jupiter's time in Gemini has been an outstanding time to rewire our subconscious mind to form new stories and conversations regarding the next step. In which ways were you resisting? Were you holding on? What emotions could you just not shake or move on from? Any that kept coming up time and time again, sort of just tapping on your shoulder. Well, you just might find that as Jupiter moves into Cancer, right, a cleansing effect will wash over you, as the gifts of Jupiter in Gemini will encourage you to network with compassion, to explore others' ideas openly, and to get curious about the unknown. I hope you are enjoying this video so far, and if you are, then please be sure to give the video a like and subscribe for more. And if you are interested in learning more about astrology, then you can always pick up a copy of my astrology cheat sheets. Thank you so much. The links are down below. Now, to think also that Saturn will enter Aries on the 24th of May for a few months, of course, pointing to some pioneering energy, to leadership dynamic lessons, to some hard truths about being courageous, maybe about getting in our own way, and dreams and visions which have been coming up lately just might be supported by the demands, the responsibilities, and the structures of Saturn. I do have videos on the channel about both Neptune in Aries and Saturn in Aries, so do feel free to check those out. But you see, Saturn in Aries welcomes this fresh energy, especially regarding responsibility, regarding our autonomy, something direct. New projects, a clean slate feeling perhaps, a passion worth putting in the work for. Do remember, however, that Saturn will retrograde throughout the summer, and so a good portion of 2025 will actually be spent reevaluating our pioneering steps. And by 2026, that is when things will really start to show up more concretely. Still, we can make certain moves at the start, at the beginning. Therefore, as Saturn enters Aries, make each step count and showcase responsible independence and leadership. For later on down the road, you will most likely be rewarded. Indeed, this Gemini season, there seems to be a ton of fire, air energy to work with, indicating dynamic passion, alertness, getting excited about following our dreams, provided we are patient and determined and so on. We can think things through before acting impulsively, hopefully, and we can also seek inspiration beyond thought. And by the middle of the season, water and earth energy will take the front seat, right? Especially towards the very end of the season, meaning we will also work with structure, form, emotional depth, as if we can fertile the soil of our new and bright ideas. We can build on them, connect emotionally with them. Then we can use practical steps to make them happen realistically with dependability, especially with Venus entering Taurus on the 6th of June for the rest of the season, and also Mars entering Virgo on the 17th of June. Taurus adds support with consistency, as Virgo can help out with details and making small adjustments. Now, as for Jupiter entering Cancer on the 9th of June, mixed with Mercury in Cancer, well, it looks like creating memorable experiences is up ahead, as if our philosophical views will be comprised of cherishing moments with loved ones, friends, business partners, lovers, relatives. We will communicate softly and with care as we use our words as a means to offer our support. We will connect through our feelings as we seek to build intimacy and depth within conversations, quite possibly making us great at business, networking, team building. For many of us, our circles of love and comfort just might expand as we build trusting bonds. Our intuition will be a fantastic source of wisdom and insight. Being generous and hospitable are highly probable, as providing for others will bring us joy. Now, there is also a video available on the channel all about Jupiter in Cancer if you want to check that one out too. Now, before we move on to your horoscopes for Gemini season of 2025, let me just take a moment to point out some challenges, right? I want to highlight some challenges which we will most likely face throughout the season, and hopefully we can learn from these challenges too. They will make us stronger, they will make us more resilient. Something to be mindful of is scattered thoughts, inconsistency, restlessness. Gemini season can often feel jittery, impatient, and so we might juggle so many balls in the air without meaning to. It is also important to not get carried away with ourselves. Though having said that, it can be fun to be involved in many projects, right? Just try and plan things out ahead of time, but also try to be mindful of times whenever you feel overwhelmed, right? Just mentally overwhelmed. Still, Gemini season is a playful time when we get to be curious. Though another major challenge is the square between Saturn and Neptune in Aries, and then Jupiter in Cancer. So as Jupiter in Cancer points to this expansive energy tied to our emotions, emphasizing greater nurturing qualities, Saturn and Neptune in Aries indicates building this stronger foundation when it comes to our will, our drive, our independence, our identity, right? With such structures helping us build towards our dreams, provided that we're not overly idealistic. So, throughout June, internal conflict is likely. Challenges tied to taking action, finding boundaries difficult to define or stick to, not wanting to upset others, our emotions clashing with others' dreamy views, struggle between taking care of oneself and others versus aligning with our personal goals and aspirations. So throughout June, consider how you can really get clear on things, Perhaps a few situations can wait until you have all of the information you need, or by jumping into action, you will realize that you have what it takes. That's another possibility. This could be a leap of faith that you're worried about, such as a job or a career matter, or a business relationship, or a committed relationship with your significant other, and you don't want to mess it up, right? Often in life, it is about doing the thing even though we have no idea how it's going to work out. But equally, if you feel like you're not quite ready to make a change, right? Yes, Gemini season is very much about change. If you don't feel quite ready, trust your gut too. If you can, make life-changing decisions from a place of greater calm, right? Regulating the nervous system from greater ease. Instead of rushing in because you feel like you have to keep up, out of desperation even, how can you listen to your intuition and align with your spiritual values, right? It's about trying to listen to your inner voice, and that inner voice, it's much more calming. All right, so with the astrology being explained, let's now move on to your horoscopes. And I do want to say thank you so much for watching. Just a reminder that you can find your free mini guide in the description box. All right, so first up we have Aries. Aries, Gemini season invites you to adapt to the winds of change by exploring a variety of new insights, information, and perspectives. This is about sharing within community and social groups, putting yourself out there on social media, expanding your network, and opening yourself up to fresh opportunities within your local area and amongst your peers. It's also about being creative, inspired, and dynamic, seeing who you align with, which people share your vision and your collective aims. Your personal goals and projects continue to be brought into focus. And towards the end of the season, you may find that your attention shifts very strongly to that of family and health, and attending to your daily activities with greater care and support. You'll also be in for a few financial surprises. Thank you so much, Aries. And now on to Taurus. So Taurus, Gemini season 2025 invites you to adapt to the winds of change by exploring a variety of financial options, having multiple sources of income, evaluating your core values, and openly communicating with what your perspectives are basically about your physical security. It's also about being goal-oriented and determined about your home and your family life. How you provide for yourself and your loved ones could very well be brought into focus, as well as just some time to contemplate and to go within. Now, towards the end of the season, you may find that your attention, it shifts more so towards that of your local neighborhood events, time spent with your children or your lover, or time spent creating or having some time off. You'll also be in for a few appearance changes and sparks of inspiration when it comes to your very outlook on life. Thank you so much, Taurus. And now moving on to Gemini. So Gemini, of course, this is your season. Happy birthday to all of you solar Gemini out there. Well, Gemini season invites you to adapt to the winds of change by exploring a variety of new appearances or identity options, opening yourself up to new goals and ambitions, approaching new situations with curiosity. A new chapter is likely regarding your direction and your overall path. It's also about just being your chatty and versatile self, right? And enthusiastic, right? To be enthusiastic about communication and networking projects is very, very probable here. Perhaps you choose to devote more time to your friendships, groups, your teams, and towards the end of the season, you may find that your attention, it shifts to that of your personal finances, your assets, your gifts, as well as your family life and getting things in order there. You'll also be in for a few spiritual surprises, which you may need some time to process. Thank you so much, Gemini. And now moving on to Cancer. Okay, so Cancer, Gemini season invites you to adapt to the winds of change by exploring a variety of ways to retreat and process your emotions, process your feelings. Maybe you reflect deeply on past conversations or internal narratives, or you communicate with a friend or a therapist about how you feel. It is a time to clear out mental clutter and to face your fears, to let go emotionally as well. Perhaps you choose to devote more of your time to your career, or it's that your public position is really brought strongly into question here. It's also about being determined, this determined, strong leader financially and professionally. And towards the end of the season, you may find that your attention shifts to big new aims and ambitions as you direct and lead this nurturing path. Or perhaps you go on more short distance trips. That's another possibility. A lot of planning will go into your local communities and ways of communicating. You'll also be in for a few friendship or community surprises or notable changes tied to your hopes and dreams. Thank you so much, Cancer. And now on to Leo. Okay, Leo. So Gemini season 2025 invites you to adapt to the winds of change by exploring a variety of group dynamics, communities, and teams, seeing who you are aligned with mentally and socially, and how your networks and groups have expanded over the past year. Your humanitarian causes will also be highlighted, as well as your hopes and dreams. Perhaps you choose to devote yourself to higher educational programs or to new travel experiences. It's also, of course, about being this brave leader, choosing what is best for your life moving forward. And of course, towards the end of the season, you may find that your attention shifts to managing your accounts, your money, your assets, polishing up your skills, or forming mutually beneficial connections within business, and just thinking about this professionally speaking, right? Those kinds of connections. You just might be in for a few surprises when it comes to your public persona, Leo. Exploring the bigger picture behind the scenes about your family and your emotions will be beneficial. Thank you so much, Leo. Now moving on to Virgo. So Virgo, this Gemini season 2025 invites you to adapt to the winds of change by exploring a variety of career and advancement options, seeing how your mental activity has increased a great deal this past year, a greater focus on external achievement and recognition, enhancing just communication within your business, being a professional teacher or learner. Perhaps you even choose to devote yourself to shared investments or to paying off debt or to exploring what is hidden. It's also about being proactive about your spiritual practices and gifts and just trusting in divine timing. Then towards the end of the season, you may find that your attention shifts to your networks, your communities, your wider audiences, to your followers, subscribers, and so on. And so what you may do is you may seek to nurture them and give back, to really give back. Your personal aims and goals will also improve, such as seeing significant progress at work or when it comes to your health, when it comes to your physical body. You just might be in for a few publication, teaching, or philosophical surprises. Thank you so much, Virgo. And now on to Libra. So Libra, this Gemini season, well, you will be invited to adapt to the winds of change by exploring a variety of ways to expand your knowledge and grow, to draw from your many sources and subjects as you widen your view and see the bigger picture. You might ponder over just bigger questions about life in general, the meaning of life, what your worldviews are, your beliefs, what or who you have outgrown as well. Maybe you choose to devote yourself to your business partnerships, to your one-to-one relationships, your spouse. It's also about being enthusiastic and engaging within your communities and your teams, making an impact, making a difference in the world. And then towards the end of the season, you may find that your attention really shifts to that of, okay, more alone time, you need some space, or to roles and positions that align with your nurturing abilities, or it's that you set out to expand and grow professionally. There is a desire for deeper connection and bonds, and you just might be in for a few psychological and investment surprises. Thank you, Libra. And now moving on to Scorpio. So Scorpio, this Gemini season, you will be invited to adapt to the winds of change by exploring a variety of subconscious learning tools or by seeking greater intimate and intellectual depth within discussions, or by being vulnerable and open with those you love about how you feel. It's a time of great psychological transformation, such as shedding old thoughts and communication patterns. Perhaps you choose to devote yourself to your job, to a new position, or to your services or your routines. It's also about being assertive and determined within your chosen profession, within your chosen career, such as being direct about what you want. And towards the end of the season, you may find that your attention shifts to organizing groups, facilitating events, planning for the future, making travel plans, seeking to expand your knowledge, or nurturing your faith. Plus, you just might be in for a few surprises within your one-to-one partnerships. Thank you so much, Scorpio. And now moving on to Sagittarius. So, Sagittarius, this Gemini season 2025 invites you to adapt to the winds of change by exploring a variety of partnerships, or by being open to new relationship opportunities, or by balancing your independence versus the needs of others, or of course by seeking to welcome in new connections, possibly expanding on the connections that you already have, okay? The connections that already exist. Perhaps you choose to devote yourself to your children, to your hobbies, to your love life. It's also about being optimistic and determined about the likes of travel or trying things outside of your comfort zone, which I'm sure you love. And towards the end of the season, you may find that your attention shifts to your intimate relationships, to trust, truth, and honesty when it comes to intimacy, to exploring the hidden facets of yourself, or to being security focused about your shared resources and accounts. Planning and prepping and organizing within your profession also comes to mind here, okay? Becomes an area of focus. You just might be in for a few daily practice, health, and work surprises. Thank you, Sagittarius. And now moving on to Capricorn. So Capricorn, Gemini season invites you to adapt to the winds of change by exploring a variety of habits, tasks, and everyday details, which you can make small changes to so that your life runs much smoother. A great time to explore more efficient ways of managing your workload, and you may also find ways to reduce stress through engaging activities. Perhaps you choose to devote yourself to family responsibilities, housing duties. It's also about being assertive and ambitious about your shared investments and business ventures. Paying off debt comes to mind. Getting shared accounts in order. Making small habits doable. And then towards the end of the season, you may find that your attention shifts to your business partnerships and deals, expanding on contracts and agreements, and nurturing your committed relationships too. Being ambitious about your wider message and teachings is also a possibility, making the bigger picture more digestible. You may also experience a few surprises within your romantic relationships or when it comes to your creative projects. Thank you so much, Capricorn. And now on to Aquarius. So Aquarius, Gemini season invites you to adapt to the winds of change by exploring a variety of social and off-time activities, seeking which kinds of hobbies and interests are intellectually stimulating, increasing your fun and enjoyment, wanting to spend more time with romantic partners, your children, or by embracing a new playful opportunity or many playful opportunities. Perhaps you choose to devote yourself to your studies, to your local communities, or to your smaller social circles. It's also about being enthusiastic and proactive within your relationships or when it comes to your business partnerships. Now, towards the end of the season, you may find that your attention really shifts to your workload, to your productivity levels, or to really nurturing your coworker relationships, or to how you show practical support within your intimate connections and relationships. A time to be of service and to help out, Aquarius. Plus, your family life is in for a few surprises. Your living situation, yes. Thank you so much, Aquarius. And now moving on to Pisces. So Pisces, Gemini season of 2025 invites you to adapt to the winds of change by exploring a variety of comforts as you feel more drawn to your domestic life. You may seek different ways to nurture your inner sense of security and belonging. Or you might adapt to new events within the home, to new family members, to family gatherings, and so on. Perhaps spending quality time with loved ones is important, something you wish to switch up and change, or maybe it's that you choose to devote yourself to your physical security goals, to your assets, to your leadership skills. It's also about being bold and courageous at work, asserting yourself with coworkers, being determined about your schedules and your routines. And then, of course, towards the end of the season, you may find that your attention really shifts to your love life, to your children, fun with family members, or to planning and prepping within your relationships, making small adjustments so that your relationships are more supportive. Plus, you just might be in for a few surprises with relation to how you show up within your local area or within your smaller social circles. Thank you so much, Pisces. And with that being said, everyone, this has been your horoscopes for this Gemini season 2025. We talked about the astrology. Of course, there will be a new moon and full moon video coming separately. We'll talk about those. Yes, that is everything. I hope this video has prepared you for the season ahead. And if you have found this video to be helpful, if you learned something new, you can always buy me a coffee. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Give the video a like if you liked it today. Stay tuned for more. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.